Do you wish us to repeat our definition of abundance?
Yes, please.
Are you paying attention?
Yes,
Are you sure?
I am.
Thank you. Abundance. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Period.
What I need to do when I need to do it.
Yes. The ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Sometimes that might require money, and if money is required, money will be there. If money isn't there, what does that tell you? Money may not be required to give you the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Now, we understand that money is one of the valid symbols of exchange and abundance on your planet, but it isn't the only one. Many times when you have been raised to believe that money is necessary to do certain things, you actually shortchange yourself by closing the doors through which other forms of abundance might actually have brought that ability to you.
Spread love, man.
Welcome to the deep dive. So you send us sources, things you're curious about, and, well, we dig in and pull out the main insights for you. Fast.
Yeah, think of it as your shortcut to getting up to speed on interesting stuff.
Exactly. And today we're looking at this really fascinating audio clip someone sent in. It's from Bashar, channeled by DARRYL ANKA. Our mission, basically, is to unpack this connection that's presented between your beliefs, personal growth, and even, like, physical feelings, sensations in your body.
Yeah, it's all about how our inner world, our thoughts and beliefs really seem to shape our outer experiences.
Right.
And I think this will resonate, especially if you're into personal development, trying to get past limitations, that kind of thing. It's digging into that mind-body connection.
Definitely. And this whole deep dive kicked off because one of you is dealing with something very specific. Persistent pain, actually, in their left shoulder.
Oh, right.
And they've tried a lot, emotional processing, acupuncture, chiropractic work. But here's the really interesting bit.
What's that?
The pain actually gets worse during deep meditation.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is interesting. Usually you'd think meditation would help, right? Make things feel better, not worse.
Exactly.
That increase in pain, especially during meditation. Well, that often points towards some kind of underlying resistance, doesn't it?
Resistance.
Yeah, maybe something subconscious. When you meditate, your awareness sharpens, so anything that's kind of blocked or stuck, it can feel more intense, like kinking a hose, maybe.
Okay. The pressure builds up where the kink is.
Precisely. Meditation increases the, let's say, energetic flow or awareness, and that makes the blockage, the resistance, more noticeable.
Got it. Which leads us right into the first big question posed in that audio clip. It's pretty direct.
Yeah.
What is your resistance to being your full self? Kind of a heavy question, maybe?
It is a big one.
But then it gets reframed, which I think helps. It's put as, are you acting to the fullest ability you can on your highest excitement every moment?
Ah, okay. That's more concrete, isn't it?
Yeah.
Takes it from the abstract full self
to
the actual doing, the acting on excitement.
Right. And the listener in the audio, they initially say yes. But then there's this hesitation. They admit, well, maybe there are doubts.
That hesitation, that's telling.
Yeah.
It's like, little crack, as you said before. It suggests there might be some conflicting beliefs running underneath that initial yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That pause opens the door. So the next step in the conversation is exploring, okay, what's the fear?
The worst case scenario.
Exactly. If you did fully act on your excitement, what's the worst thing you're afraid might happen?
And what was the answer?
The fear was ending up near destitute with money and even near homelessness.
Wow. Okay, that's a really strong fear. And honestly, a pretty common one when people think about following passion over, say, a secure paycheck.
For sure.
But the key thing here, and the audio really pushes on this, is questioning the link. Does acting on excitement really cause destitution? Is that a true cause and effect?
Right, because the audio asks point blank. So are you saying that by acting on your excitement, it created the idea and the experience of being destitute? It directly challenges that assumption. And the listener, after thinking for a moment, seems to agree it's probably a fallacy. It doesn't automatically follow.
Which is a huge realization, even just intellectually. But then you have to ask why it's a fallacy. Why is that link there in the first place if it's not real?
And that's where negative beliefs come in, right?
Exactly. The audio suggests there have to be a negative belief system in there. And then asks that really simple, powerful question, because why?
That because why question is brilliant. It just forces you to look underneath the surface explanation.
It does. because the core idea presented is that if you are genuinely, truly in your excitement, in that state of being, that vibration, well, by its very definition, that state doesn't contain the experience of destitution.
So if you are experiencing or fearing destitution while trying to follow excitement?
Then, according to this perspective, you must be tapping into some other belief, some other frequency that's actually creating that negative possibility. It's not the excitement itself doing it.
Okay, so the excitement is like a high frequency and destitution is a low one. They don't naturally coexist in the same state.
That's the concept, yeah. So the question becomes, why is the listener connecting these two opposites, excitement and destitution?
And the reason they give is, well, that their highest excitements often involve things like that cost a lot of money that I don't have at the moment.
Ah, right. And that's where we often get tripped up, isn't it? Equating what we need or want only with money.
We think abundance just means cash.
Exactly. Which is why Bashar's definition in the audio is so key. Abundance is defined as the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it, period.
The ability, not necessarily the money itself.
Right. The focus shifts to capability, resourcefulness, opportunity. Money is only one way that ability might manifest.
That's a big shift in perspective. Because if you're only looking for money to solve something, you might miss other paths opening up.
Totally. The audio gives examples, like maybe your excitement is just taking a walk in the woods. That doesn't cost money.
Or deciding not to take a job you dread, even if it pays well, could paradoxically lead to a better opportunity you wouldn't have seen otherwise.
Right. But there's a crucial caveat here, which the audio also touches on. Self-fulfilling prophecies.
Meaning?
Well, if you strongly believe that not taking that job will lead to ruin, even if your excitement is screaming, don't do it, that powerful negative belief can actually, well, help create that negative outcome.
Ah, okay. Your belief overrides the potential positive path.
Kind of. It's like the analogy used. You cannot simply force yourself to jump off a cliff if you actually don't believe you have a parachute. The underlying belief needs to support the action, or at least not actively sabotage it.
That makes sense. You need some foundation of trust.
Now, interestingly, the listener mentions they actually did take a big leap like this about 2 years ago.
Yeah, and they said it's been this ongoing process, lots of growth, and good things have happened. They even traveled to Peru and Hawaii.
Wow. Okay, so they have acted on excitement and seen positive results.
Yes. And here's the kicker. They realized these amazing trips didn't always need a ton of money up front. Things just sort of worked out.
See, that's direct personal evidence contradicting the fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
It shows that abundance, that ability, can show up in ways other than just having a big bank balance first.
It really does, which
Well.
brings us to a really pivotal question, maybe for the listener and for all of us listening.
Which is?
If you have these positive beliefs, this trust, that clearly works in some areas, like making travel happen, why can't that same belief system be applied to other areas, like financial security or other passions?
Ah, yeah. Why the difference? Why does the mechanism seem to work over here but not over there? What's the distinction being made?
Exactly. And the audio suggests the core issue isn't that reality is different in those areas.
It's that we're believing it's different.
That's the idea. We're making a difference where no difference needs to be made. Identifying that belief, that artificial separation, seems to be key.
Okay. And this whole exploration of beliefs, fear, excitement, how does it circle back to the original problem? The shoulder pain.
Right. The audio connects it directly. It proposes that the physical pain behind the shoulder is actually related to this resistance we've been talking about. Resistance to your natural self.
So the pain is a physical manifestation of that inner conflict or blockage.
That's the framework presented. All pain, in this view, is seen as resistance. It's a self-created limitation, a restriction on your own energy.
Okay, I can see that. Like tensing up against your own flow.
Yeah. And when you resist that natural flow, that energy has to go somewhere, right? It gets blocked, builds up, creates tension.
Which explains why it might feel worse during meditation.
Because your awareness of that internal tension, that energetic buildup, increases. The resistance prevents the natural relaxation and release.
Makes sense. So the way forward, the path to potentially easing the pain and the limiting beliefs.
Lies in figuring out why. Why are certain areas of life defined as different? Why does abundance feel possible for travel, but maybe not for career passion, for example?
So identifying and dismantling that false distinction is the work.
Pretty much. Because doing that allows the energy to flow more freely again, it lets the restriction relax, the pain potentially eases, and crucially, you become more open to attracting solutions, attracting abundance in all its forms.
It's really fascinating how deeply connected it all is, the beliefs, the emotions, the actual physical feelings in our bodies.
It really is. This deep dive shows how something that feels purely physical, like shoulder pain, could have roots in these maybe subconscious belief patterns about what's possible for us.
Ways we might be unknowingly holding ourselves back.
So wrapping this up, the core insight here seems to be that our listeners' shoulder pain could very well be their body's way of signaling this internal resistance.
A resistance seemingly tied to this limiting belief that says, following my excitement equals financial disaster.
Right, even though their own life has shown examples where that's not true, where abundance showed up differently.
So the work is about bridging that gap in belief, applying the trust from one area to another.
Exactly. And that leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe chew on.
Go on.
In what specific ways might you in your own life be unconsciously drawing these lines? Defining certain goals or areas as somehow different, harder, less possible than others?
Yeah, what subtle beliefs might be holding those walls up, keeping abundance, in whatever form it might take, from flowing freely into all areas of your life?
It's definitely something worth exploring your own beliefs about abundance and really tuning into that conversation between your thoughts, your feelings, and what your body might be telling you.